Top 10 Scariest Ways People Went Missing. Many of the scariest tales ever told are based on real events. And the versions of those that are the most fun are the ones in which the answer can never be completely determined. Why else do serial killers like Jack the Ripper and the Zodiac Killer take up such disproportionate amounts of space in our collective unconscious? In the spirit of Halloween 2019, we have compiled a list of some of the most intriguing, historical disappearances that can be found in the archives of the Charlie Project. Number 10. The members of the Martin family, Oregon, 1958. When it comes to stories like this, some of the most interesting elements have to do with the lives of the individuals who were left behind after the disappearance. The Martin family most certainly went off the road on their way home, sending their car tumbling into the river below. Yet, the evocative images of a life that was never resumed make this post particularly unsettling. What truly happened to the Martin family is not much of a mystery. It brings to light all of the insignificant aspects of life that may flash before your eyes in the second that everything changes. Number 9. Bobby Dunbar, Louisiana, 1912. This narrative will be familiar to viewers of This American Life, as it served as the focal point of one of the program's most compelling episodes. After young Bobby Dunbar, then only 4 years old, became separated from his family while they were participating in a group activity, he was never found again. There is a chance that he was knocked off a railroad trestle and perished. There's also the possibility that he was kidnapped by a weird man who was spotted hanging about the neighborhood. We may never know the answer, however, because the authorities initially believed they had found Bobby Dunbar, and it wasn't until 2004 that they realized it was an entirely different child who had simply stepped into Bobby's life. Long after it would have been possible to solve the case. Number 8. Billy Gaffney, New York, 1927. After being left alone to play with a friend who was 1 year younger than him in the corridor of Billy Gaffney's apartment building in Brooklyn for only a few moments, the two boys vanished. Billy Gaffney is 4 years old. The young boy, who was 3 years old at the time, was located finally on top of the apartment building, and he claimed that an elderly man with a gray mustache known as the Boogie Man had taken Billy away. Albert Fish, a serial killer who fits the description of the Boogeyman, eventually admitted to killing Billy, but Billy's skeletal remains have not been located to this day. Number 7. Mary Maroney, Illinois, 1930. The story of Mary Maroney, who was only 2 years old at the time, illustrates a subject that appears often in the archives of the Charlie Project. Families in need of affordable childcare during the Great Depression who trusted the wrong person. After allowing Maroney to spend the day with a woman who called herself Julia Otis, Maroney's parents later discovered that she had vanished. Later on, a lady who claimed to be Otis's cousin wrote a letter to the family and said that she would take care of Mary. In the letter, she said that Otis was love-hungry following the death of both his husband and his child. Mary has never been found, but if she were alive now, she would be in her 80s. There is a possibility that she is still alive but has no idea who she is. Number 6. Georgia Weckler, Wisconsin, 1947. The tragic account of Georgia Weckler's, age 8, disappearance is particularly unsettling for the following reason. Curiously, before her disappearance, Georgia had made several remarks indicating that she especially feared being kidnapped. Curiously, before her disappearance, Georgia had made several remarks indicating that she especially feared being kidnapped. There's a good chance that we'll never find out what caused this. Number 5. Evelyn Hartley, Wisconsin, 1953. The circumstances surrounding Evelyn Hartley's disappearance are like something out of a suspense film. One evening, the young woman was watching children for her parents when she forgot to phone them at the predetermined hour to report how things were going. When her father went to check on her, he discovered that the home was completely locked, but the lights and radio were still on. There was no sign of Evelyn anywhere in the house. A frenzied search for the girl was conducted when there were indications of a struggle and forced entrance, but she was never located. There were puddles of blood that may have belonged to Evelyn, and there were eyewitness tales of a girl who may have been her. These two pieces of evidence combined to make this narrative even more puzzling. Number 4. Bruce Creeman, California, 1960. The whereabouts of Bruce Creeman are unknown while they were at camp. He was playing with a few other guys not far from his larger group when he became separated from them and was never seen or heard from again. The authorities initially thought that he was lost in the San Gabriel Mountains, so they started a large search there. However, they were unable to locate either the youngster or his body throughout their search. Now, however, the authorities believe that he had some sort of interaction with McRae Edwards, one of the least well-known yet most prolific serial killers in the United States. McRae Edwards worked on highway construction and may have buried the remains of his victims beneath the asphalt, where they would never be found again. Number 3. Marjorie West, Pennsylvania, 1938. After church, the West family went on an outing in the countryside, during which Marjorie, age 4, and her older sister, aged 11, went to collect wildflowers. While the sister went to talk to their parents, Marjorie vanished while she was standing amid a wide, open field. This may appear to be a run-of-the-mill kidnapping scenario if it weren't for the fact that Marjorie's life might have crossed paths with Georgia Tann, the administrator of the Tennessee Children's Home Society. Tann, who was praised for her ability to find homes for children who needed them, actually kidnapped over 200 children and then placed them with wealthy families in far-off states like California, often for a substantial fee. She was praised for her ability to find homes for children who needed them. There is a possibility that Marjorie is still living today, but has no idea who she is because she has never met Tann or anyone else who worked with her. Number 2. The Children of Mr. and Mrs. Sutter, West Virginia, 1945. The narrative of the 5 Sutter children, who all vanished under strange circumstances on the night of Christmas Eve, is by far the creepiest account included within the archives of the Charlie Project. Instead of going to bed right away, 5 out of 10 of the youngsters begged their parents if they might remain up and play with their brand new toys instead of going straight to bed. After agreeing, their parents went to bed, and shortly thereafter, a peculiar chain of events started to take place. Number 1. The story of Virginia Dare and the disappeared colony. Virginia Dare was the first English child to be born in the New World. She was born on August 18, 1587, in what was then a nascent colony on Roanoke Island, located in what is now North Carolina. 9 days after Virginia was born, her grandpa, John White, who lived sometime between 1539 and 1593, departed the colony to make a supply run to England. White didn't return to the island until 3 years later, at which point he found out that all of the settlers had vanished. Aside from the words Croton carved onto a stockade and Crow carved into a tree, White was unable to uncover any information that might have provided a clue as to where the approximately 100 adults and children had gone, or what might have happened to them. White found nothing at all to indicate where they had gone or what might have become of them. So, do you like this video? Give your answer in comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.